Hello, everybody. Welcome to the next installment in the ESPN Sunday Night Baseball 1993 replay baseball. And this Sunday night, we are in Florida, Joe Robbie Stadium, the Philadelphia Phillies against the Florida Marlins. Next Sunday, we will be in Cincinnati, the Queen City, as the Atlanta Braves will be taking on the Cincinnati Reds in a great pitching matchup, Greg Maddux against Jose Rijo. That will be next Sunday. And then we also have a change coming after that next Sunday, and that will be that I will divert from what the original Sunday night game was and base it on the standings in the 1993 replay as done by Stratomatic. So whatever looks like it would be make the most sense as far as the pennant race goes. That'll be what's going to happen going 2 weeks from today. Today's date in the replay is August the 8th, so August 15th. Next Sunday will be Atlanta and Cincinnati, but starting August 22nd, we will divert and go for what looks like might be more of a playoff push. So the 22nd, we're going to divert and do Philadelphia will appear once again, and they will be at Houston. So that will take the place of the original Atlanta-Chicago game that was originally played Sunday night on the 22nd. But we're going to replace that because Chicago's nowhere near in the pennant race, and Houston and Philadelphia both currently lead their divisions at the moment. And then the week after that, we'll stick with the original Chicago White Sox-Minnesota game because the White Sox are on top of the American League West. And then after that, we're just going to play it by ear, and games don't necessarily have to be played Sunday night. We'll just pick one on a Sunday and see which one is most pertinent to the pennant race. But for tonight, we're still with the Sunday night games. Charlie Huff for the Florida Marlins against left-hander Terry Mulholland of the Phillies. There you see the starting lineups and the bullpens for both teams. So without further ado, we will get rolling. I do have the replay score sheet here. So I do have, all the defensive ratings filled in for both teams and whatnot. Do have the trifold up there, and I've got right to my side here is the action chart, which I'll be referring to once in a while, and the rare play book is just off to my side, so I have that handy if needed, if we get to that. So Charlie Huff finishing up the warm-up tosses, but Lenny Dykstra will step on this side as we're going left to right, but the batter's card is looked at first, so looks more like the traditional pitching mound to batter box kind of thing. So most games I have the pitcher first, the batter second, but in replay baseball, the batter card is deciphered first. Of course, you got the red, white, and blue dice. So Lenny Dykstra, and he's got two split chances that are much better against right-handers here in column 6 plus the 3-6 standard split. So he's got 3 chances to do better against right-handed pitching. We got a 2-6, and that's going to take us to the ballpark on the very first play of the game. That's a raise number of 4, which is going to be hard to make a snag there if it stays a 4. But we go to our column 2 up here, looping line drive. This number can change based on what is rolled. Now the 6 blue die 6 tells us we're looking at the right fielder, and that is Henry Cotto. And Henry Cotto's range is a 3. So the only way Cotto makes this catch is if this number drops to a 2, and the only way that happens is if we roll a 1. Anything other than a 1 is going to drop in for a hit. And it's a 2, so it's going to drop in for a base hit for Lenny Dykstra, as Cotto was not able to get it. The 2 makes that raise number a 3. Cotto is a 3, and his number is the same, not greater than, and you have to have a greater than to make the catch. So Lenny Dykstra, leadoff single, drops in front of Henry Cotto. We're using automated steals, so there was nothing there to tell that there was going to be a steal, so Dykstra will just stand pat at first base. Second baseman Mariano Duncan. Not sure why Morandini's not playing in this game, but for whatever reason, they're using Mariano Duncan. 3-2, and we're at the ballpark spot. That's a number 2, but that can change based on what's here. The 3-4 means we're going to add 3 to whatever this number is. Right now, the 3 and the 2 would total a 5, and in column 3, a 5 would be a short fly to left, but that can change based on what we roll here. So let's see what is in the offering. That's a 4, so that's going to make that a 5. So this 2 now jumps to a 5, and there's a 3 there. It makes a total of 8, and that's going to be a single to center field. So the ballpark definitely gives him the single. check base running advancement. Runner advances one base, check with third base coach for extra attempt. All right. If you want to check with the third base coach, that's on the opposite side of the action chart. And let's see here. Does it give a, if it's a throw for throws to third base to center field, there's no change. And this single did go to center field, so there's no change there. Center fielder arm, Carr is a 4. Dykstra's speed is a 5, so that's a +1 for the batter. So that puts us in this category. So the only way he's going to be out is a 10, so there's no, really almost no risk in sending him, so they're going to send him. And it's a 3, so that's extra base, so he does get third base. So the third base coach waving Dykstra around, and he will make it into third safely. Runners are at the corners with nobody out to start the ball game. And Charlie Huff in a rough spot right now. That'll bring up John Kruk. Infield for the Marlins is back. They looking to turn the double play if possible. 5-2 is a 2. And a 5-5 is a 4. Total of 6. And that's a walk, but with runner on first only or bases full it counts 2 balls, but that's not the situation, so it will be a walk. And that will load the bases, and Charlie Huff has just really gotten himself into a hole here in the first inning. 2 singles and a walk have loaded the bases, nobody out, and the power guys coming up, Hollins and Dalton. Again, infield for Florida is back. They need outs in the worst way. They have nobody out right now. They got to get some outs. 3-6, that's a left-right split, and he's a switch hitter, so he automatically gets that hit. It's an automatic 2-base advancement for the runners, so runners will be at the corners. And right now, the Phillies grab a 2-0 lead on the single by Dave Hollins. Kruk will go to third. Duncan and Dykstra both score. It's 2-0 Phillies, and the seats are barely even warm here at Joe Robbie Stadium. And it could be a long night for Charlie Huff. His knuckleball is not knuckling. So that'll bring up Darren Dalton. 4-5, and that is a total of 6. 4-3 is the third baseman. That is Gary Sheffield. He's a 4, so that's a total of 10 in column 4. Infield halfway for the double play, and a 10 says the ground out force at second. That's all they get is the fielder's choice, so the run will score on the fielder's choice. It's going to go 5-4 as Hollins is out at second base for the first out of the inning. Dalton reaches on the fielder's choice. Kruk scores. It's 3-0 Phillies here in the top of the first. But they finally get the first out of the inning. And a runner still at first base for Jim Eisenreich, the right fielder. 2-3 is a 50. And a 2-5 is a 3. Total of 53. And that will be a ground ball pitcher to first. Runners will advance. So the only play for Huff is to go to first base to get the out. 1-3. Dalton will take second base, and that'll bring up Pete Incaviglia. And Huff needs to get out of this and limit the damage to 3 runs. Mulholland's not exactly Cy Young, so the Marlins do have a chance to come back. They just got to nip everything in the bud right here. 1-6 of 45. They do nip in the bud. It's a strikeout to end the inning. But 3 runs come across the plate in the top of the first for the Phillies. They lead it 3-0 as we go to the bottom of the first. And Terry Mulholland's been staked to that 3-run lead. And Chuck Carr will be up for the Marlins. Last time we saw the Marlins, they did not have Chuck Carr, and they did not have Gary Sheffield. So hopefully their offense is a little bit more robust, but we shall see. Carr, 2-4 is a 4. 2-6 is a 4. Total of 8. That's going to be a pop out to third. So not too robust there. 1 away for Henry Cotto. They got him from Seattle in the Dave Magadan trade. Saw Magadan last week in Seattle. So now we're going over to the other side of that trade to see Henry Cotto. 4-5. That's a 2. 4-4 is the shortstop, Stocker. And he will make that play easily. 6-3 for the putout. 2 up and 2 down. And that brings up Jeff Conine, the Barbarian. See if he can get something going for the Fish. 6-5 to 36. That's a strikeout to end the inning. So the Marlins go meekly 1-2-3 here in the bottom of the first. And boy, Charlie Huff didn't get much time to rest. He's back on the mound already in a 3-0 ball game to start the top of the second. Kevin Stocker. First time seeing him since his call up. Rookie shortstop. He's up, followed by the pitcher Mulholland. 6-6. Oh, that's bad news there. That's an 8. 6-6 here is a 4 is a 12. So 12 is going to be a home run unless we roll a 1. That's the only thing that's going to save him. But much like Appa, you rolled 66. It's almost always a home run. The only way this stops it if we roll a 1. And we do, so it's going to end up being a single. Boy, Stocker got a bad break there. Instead of a home run, it's a single, but he does have the asterisk there, so that means he will be trying to steal. So, with that in mind, we need to get the steal chart out and see what the catcher and pitcher hold rating is. Huff, his hold rating is a 3, and Benito Santiago is also a 3. So we're looking at 3 and 3, which is a 36. So when you have the asterisk there, roll equal or less than the stolen base rating, the runner holds. So if we get a 36 or less, he has to hold. 37 or higher, he will successfully steal. He cannot be caught. So the key number is 36. We get a 46, so he does steal the base. So Kevin Stocker will single and steal second base to start the top of the second. And that's going to bring up the pitcher, Terry Mulholland. I got a PDF card of his batting card. Instead of using the generic ones, we'll do the PDF there. Make sure that everything, I think it's focus still okay on that. Alrighty, so Mulholland, an 065 hitter. He is a 1 rated bunter, so they're going to have him bunt. So we need to go to the bunt chart, which is in the back of the trifold. So we need to get that out. Or actually, I'm going to use my other book that has the bunt in it. My original book that was not the trifold, but the tabbed book. And that has bunts right here in the first part of the book. So bunt 1, and he is a 1, best you can have. With the infield in, we'll use this column. If the infield's back, we'll use that column, but we're doing infield in. I'm going to roll the blue die to see who fields it. 1 means that the pitcher, Charlie Huff, will field it. That's an 8. 8 says a good sacrifice, so only play for Huff was to go to first base with it, so sacrifice is going to go 1 to 4 with the second baseman Barbary covering first base. Stocker, in the meantime, will take third with 1 out, and now the infield is going to have to come in for the Marlins. They just don't want to give up any more runs if they can avoid it. And Lenny Dykstra is now your batter. Infield is in. Dykstra, his first time up, singled and scored. 3-5, and we're in the ballpark area again. A 3-6 is a 4, so we're going to add 4 to the 3 and make it a 7. And if it stayed a 7, that would be a single. But this has a chance to be reduced based on this roll. So the only way it's reduced is if we make this a 2, and the only way that happens is to roll a 1. So if we don't roll a 1, it's going to be a base hit. It's a 3, so it's actually going to bump this up to a 4. 4 plus the 4 is an 8. That's a single to center field, and that will score the run. Lenny Dykstra singles in Kevin Stocker, and it is now 4-0 Phillies here in the top of the second inning. And Charlie Huff may not be around too long in this one. You could say it's rough for Huff right now. Here's Duncan. 3-4, that's a possible rare play. And it's odd, so it will be a rare play. So we go to our rare playbook and see what shows up in the rare playbook. There is a runner on first base. So that's the first part of the equation, is to get runner on first. And there is 1 out. So we roll the 2d6s, and we get a 3. So runner on first, rare play with a 3. And no matter what the out total is, it's a wild pitch chance. Runner takes second on wild pitch and takes a big turn at second, drawing a throw from the catcher. Roll 1 die against catcher's defensive rating. If die is not higher, runner is caught off base, catcher to second. If die is higher, catcher throws into center field and runner takes third on the error. If runner speed is higher than center field's arm, he scores. Otherwise, he holds at third. So a lot of stuff to digest there. First thing we're looking at is it's a wild pitch. So we know that Dykstra is going to take second on the wild pitch, but he makes a wide turn. So when a roll against the catcher's defensive rating, that is Santiago, he's a 3. So if Dye is not higher than a 3, then he's caught off base. So basically roll a 1, 2, or 3, Dykstra is going to be out. 4, 5, or 6, the ball sails into center field. It's a 1, so they catch Dykstra on a wide turn, and he is out of there. So Dykstra is out. It's going to be a wild pitch to score. It's a wild pitch, but then he's out 2 to 4 for the second out of the inning. So that's where that rare play comes into play. And I think everything is still okay on the focus, so hopefully that didn't hurt anything. But now there are 2 outs with Duncan still at the plate and base is clear. So nice play by Santiago. 3-1 is a 31. 3-3 is a 2, total of 33, and that is a line out to center field to end the inning. So Huff limits the damage to just 1 run, but now it's 4-0 Phillies. And the Marlins may be digging a hole they cannot get themselves out of. Their shovel may not be big enough. But we shall see. Here's Gary Sheffield. First time seeing him with the Marlins since he came over from the Padres in the Trevor Hoffman deal. So Gary Sheffield will lead things off. 1-1, that's a 20, and a 1-3 is a 2, total of 22. That's going to be a single, plus a possible error. The blue die is a 3, which means the center fielder is what we're looking at. Ball drops and maybe mishandle roll against the error rating of the center fielder, Dykstra. His error rating is only a 25, so he's not very good with the errors. And that will be an error. And it will be an error on Dykstra. So, just like that, Sheffield will take second base. It's going to be a single plus an E8. And that's going to move Sheffield to second base with nobody out. It's a little bit sloppy here in early going. Sloppy pitching, sloppy fielding. And now Orestes Emotional Destrada steps to the plate. 2-5 is a 16. 2-4 is a 3, total of 19. And that's going to be a fly to center. Had the runner been on third, he could have scored, but the runner on second has to hold. So there's 1 down for Benito Santiago, who made that nice play to get Dykstra off the bases earlier. 2-6, and we're back in the shaded area again. The 2 means we're checking the left fielder in this case, and that is Incaviglia. His range is a 3, so right now he cannot catch this. It has to drop to a 2 or less. And the only way that does it is on a 1. Anything other than a 1, it's going to be a base hit, and the run will score. It's a 4, it's a base hit, and the run will score. The Marlins are on the board as Incaviglia was unable to get to that base hit by Santiago. It drops in front of him. Sheffield comes around to score, and the Marlins are finally on the board. Finally on the board. Well, let me make sure Sheffield can score. May not be automatic. His speed is a 4. Dykstra's arm is a 3. So since his speed is greater than the arm, he does officially score. So I was almost premature in that, but the speed of Sheffield 4 is greater than the arm of Dykstra 3, so that does allow for him to score, just to make sure we're official. All right, so Santiago's aboard with an RBI single, cuts the lead to 4-1. And here's Brett, as Chris Berman would say, Brett put another shrimp on the Barbary. Not one of my favorites, but hey, whatever. 2-5 is a 16, 2-3 is a 3, total of 19, and that will be a fly to center for out number 2. That'll bring up the shortstop, Alex Arias. Not sure why Walt Weiss isn't playing, except for the fact that maybe with a lefty on the mound, they wanted a right-handed bat in there instead of a switch hitter. I don't know, but Arias is in there. 6-2 is a 21. This could be good for the Marlins. 6-2 is a 21, 6-5 is a 4, total of 25. And 25 is a long single. Runner advances 2 bases, but there's other script to go with it. So let's see what comes up after this and see if there's any extracurriculars that can happen. Board says batter has the option to try for a double. Roll red and white dice for umpire's call. 1 to 4 on the red die, he is safe. So let's roll the dice. If it's a 1-4, we don't need to check anything else out. It is a 4, so he is safe with a double. So it will be a double. It will be a double. Now let's check with 2 outs and see if there's anything. It doesn't give any indication about there being a chance to move up. The runner on first does not say, just says 2-base advancement. So Arias doubles. Santiago has to stop at third with 2 outs, but now there's Charlie Huff, and that's where you run into issues. You would love to get a pinch hitter. You know the way Charlie Huff's pitching, they're going to pull him. They're going to go for they're going for the gusto right here. They've got a lot of guys in the bullpen. They're going to use them. But they're going to a pinch hitter right here and right now to try to get this run across. And they are going to go to right-handed hitting Rich Renteria, a .255 hitter. So Charlie Huff is only going to go 2 innings and give up 4 runs. So not exactly the best day in the world for Charlie Huff, that is for certain. But Renteria is going to pinch hit. How many times do you pinch hit in the second inning? But this is a critical spot for the Marlins. If they can get a base hit here, that gets them right back in the game. So they're going for broke. Mulholland to Renteria. 5-6 is a 1. 5-6 over here is a 3. Total of 4. It's a ground ball to short, and that's going to end the inning. So they took a gamble. Didn't pay off, but really the way Huff was pitching, it might be better off bringing your bullpen in. So the Marlins get the 1 run, cut the lead to 4-1. But they have a missed opportunity for potentially more. And now we go to the bullpen for the Marlins. Let's see who they're going to have. We have Phillies have Kruk, Hollins, and some lefties coming up. They have 2 lefties in their bullpen. They have Joe Klink and Rich Rodriguez. So they're going to go to Rich Rodriguez. He also came over for San Diego in that trade, along with Sheffield. So Rich Rodriguez is going to be the new pitcher for the Marlins. And we'll see what he can do against Kruk, Hollins, and Dalton. And then Eisenreich after him. So 3 of the 4 are left-handed. So that's the reason why the strategy there. Kruk will lead off. 2-4, and that's a 55. That's a 3. That stays static because it's not in the orange. So the outfielder range has to be 4 or better to catch this. The 6 means we're looking at the right fielder, and that is, again, Cotto. And unfortunately for the Marlins, Cotto's range is only a 3, so it will not top it. It only keeps it the same. So that will be a base hit. Base hit for John Kruk. Leadoff single, drops it in front of Henry Cotto. So that'll bring up Dave Hollins, the switch hitter. 2-6, and now we're in the shaded area, so this number will change. A 1 means we're looking at the left fielder, Conine. His range is a 3, so right now he catches this, but the only way this stays a 2 is if we roll a 1. Anything else is going to drop in for a base hit. It is a 1, so he does make the running catch. Nice play there by Conine. That saves a lot of trouble. And there's 1 away for Dutch, Darren Dalton. Another lefty-on-lefty matchup. 4-3 is a 16. They are halfway for the double play. 4-3 is a 16. 4-2 is a second baseman, and that is Barbary. He's a 1. So that total now becomes 17. But the infield halfway is just a grounder out at first. Let's see, grounder out at first, runners advance 1 base. So the only play was to first base to get the out, but it is out number 2. Runner does advance to second. And that'll bring up Jim Eisenreich. But again, replay baseball, their lefty-righty splits are not very robust, so you don't really get penalized too much for putting Eisenreich out there. Of course, he may have hit okay against lefties as well. Who knows? And with triple ones ain't going to matter anyway. He doesn't get a base hit, and the run's going to score. 10 plus the 3 there is a 13. That's a single up the middle. Runners advance 1 base, or with 2 outs, runner advances 2 bases. So that will score John Kruk, even though it doesn't run well. There are 2 outs, so that gives him the opportunity to take the run, and he does. And Eisenreich with an RBI single. And the Phillies get that run right back and take a 5-1 lead. And now here's Pete Incaviglia. 3-5, that is a 3. 3-1 is a 1, total of 4, and that's going to be a fly to right field to end the inning. But the run comes in, the Phillies tack on another one and lead it 5-1 as we go to the bottom of the third. And due up for the Marlins, it'll be the top of the order and Chucky Carr, followed by Cotto and Conine. 5-4, that's a 1. 5-4 here is a 1, total of 2. That's a ground ball to first. Easy play for Kruk. He'll just step on the bag, 1 away. And that'll bring up Henry Cotto. 3-6, that's a left-right split, so that's a base hit for Henry Cotto. Second time they've gotten a base hit on the left-right split. That 3-6 has come up twice, and both times it has benefited the hitter. Now, not only that, there is an asterisk there, so that means he has a chance to steal. So not only does he get the base hit, but he has a chance to steal as well. So we'll check the pitcher hold and the catcher. Mulholland's a 5. That's the best you can have for hold rating. Dalton's a 4. So 5 and a 4 for the pitcher-catcher criteria on the little grid. Comes up with a 53. So 53 or less, he's got a hold. 54 or more, he steals it. So 51, he's got a hold. So Cotto cannot steal because Mulholland holds runners so well. He cannot steal. But he's not out. So here's Conine. 3-1 is a 4. That's in the shaded area, and that can change based on this column 3. 3-6 is a 4. So we're going to add 4 to whatever this comes to. Right now it's 8, which would be a single to center, but that can change based on this result down here at the bottom. That's a 2, so that changes this to a 3. 3 and a 4 is a 7. It's still going to be a single to left field. And runners are going to advance just the 1 base. And down by so many runs, they're not going to take a chance, especially on first to third. In left field, you're not going to really do that. So with only 1 out, they're going to hold everybody there. Runners are at first and second. For the big guys, Sheffield and Destrada, you don't want to run yourself out of an inning. So Sheffield is up. Chance to do some damage right here. 1 long ball, and they're back in the game. So Mulholland has to be careful with Sheffield. 3-6, another left-right split. That's a base hit. So that's come up 3 times already. I keep saying how they don't have robust splits, but boy, that 3-6 roll sure does come up a lot. Automatic 2-base advancement for everybody. So scoring is Cotto. Going to third is Conine. And Sheffield with an RBI single cuts the lead to 5-2. And now the tying run is at the plate in Orestes Destrada. Infield back for the double play. 6-5 is a strikeout, so that's a big strikeout for Mulholland. You get that 36 there. It's a strikeout. So it's up to Santiago. Now, Santiago did have an RBI single his first time up, so he's looking to repeat that right here. 5-3 is a 7. 5-4 is a 1, total of 8, and that's going to be a walk. And that will load the bases. So now the bases are full of Marlins. And that'll bring up Brett Barbary. Second baseman, switch hitter. 2-3 is a 2. 2-5 is a 3, total of 5. That's a strikeout. And again, the Marlins miss an opportunity to get more. They got 1, but they could have gotten more. So they get the 1, cut the lead to 5-2, but they leave the bases loaded. And boy, that's 3, 5. They left 5 runners on base in the last 2 innings, have the Marlins, so that could definitely come back to bite them. Phillies, conversely, have only left 3 runners on the whole game to the 5. So they've been scoring their base runners as opposed to leaving them on base. So Rich Rodriguez is going to come back out to start the 4th. He is scheduled to bat second next inning, so they want to get him through the inning, get him through these 2 innings if possible. Stocker, 3-1's a 31, 3-1's a 1 for a total of 32, and that will be a line out to right field. And Stocker is retired. 1 away for Terry Mulholland. He had a sacrifice bunt last time. Now he's got a hit for himself. 4-4 is an 11. That's a possible error. 4-6 is second baseman Barber. He's a 53. So 53 or less, he makes the play. And he does, a 41. So he will make the play and retire Mulholland for 2 quick outs for Lenny Dykstra. He's 2 for 2 with 2 singles. 1-2 is a 3. 1-3 is a 3. Total of 6. That's a strikeout, and that's going to end the inning. And that's going to be it for Mr. Rodriguez. He's going to go 2 innings, give up 1 run. But he kept his team in the game. Try to give his team a chance to come back. But he will be lifted for a pinch hitter as he's going to bat second this inning. So he will be lifted for a pinch hitter, and they will go to the bullpen in the top half of the 5th. Right now it is Arias and then a pinch hitter. And we'll see who the Marlins have on the bench they want to use as a pinch hitter. They've got Weiss, who's a switch hitter. Nadel, the backup catcher. And they've got Briley and Whitmore, a couple of lefties. So looks like they're going to go with Walt 3-blind Weiss is going to be the pinch hitter. Weiss will pinch hit for Rodriguez. And Arias will lead things off. Doubled his first time up. 1-2 is a 4. 1-4 is a 2. Total of 6. That's a strikeout. So Arias out on strikes. And now the pinch hitter, Walt Weiss. So they've used Renteria and Weiss to this point. 4-5. That is a 3. I'm sorry, 4-5 is a 4. 4-6 is a second baseman. And that is Duncan. He's a 3, so that's a total of 7. That's an easy ground out. 2 down. So Weiss is done for the night. And Chuck Carr, the batter. 1-3 is a 4. 1-5 is a 3. Total 7. Pop up to second, and that's going to end the inning. So a very easy 3rd inning for Mr. Mulholland. And we've played 4 here at Joe Robbie. It is 5-2 Phillies over the Fish. And the Marlins will need a new pitcher. You got righty, lefty switch coming up, first 3 hitters. So let's see who they want to go to out of the pen. And they're going to go to a long reliever, Luis Aquino. So Aquino will come on and pitch. And they're hoping to get 2 innings out of Aquino, if possible. But he'll be facing Duncan to lead things off. 1-4 is a 35. 1-2 is a 2. Total of 37. It's a ground ball to second. Easy play for Barbary. 1 down. And that brings up John Kruk. Kruk has walked and singled, scored twice. 6-1 is a 16, 6-6 is a 3, total of 19. That's a deep fly to right for out number 2. So Aquino doing well so far. Here's Hollins. He's 1 for 2. 4-4 is a 2, 4-4 is a shortstop, and that's an easy play for Mr. Arias. Arias is a 4, so the 4 and the 2 is 6, which is an easy play for the shortstop. So it's a 1-2-3 inning. Turned in by Aquino. Keeping his team in the game. It's 5-2. So the Marlins are still hanging around, but they're waiting for their offense and to not leave people on base. That's the big thing. Those left on bases are starting to pile up on them. Here's Cotto, 1 for 2 with a run scored. 3-6, that's that left-right split again. He found it. Second time in 3 at-bats, he's found it, and he's got a chance to steal once again. But again, the hold rating and catcher thing is 53, so it has to be greater than 53 for him to steal. Otherwise, he's got to hold, so he does have to hold. So no stolen base, but he is on with the leadoff single is Henry Cotto. And that'll bring up Jeff Conine, the Barbarian. 4-6 is a 2. 4-5 is the shortstop Stocker, who is a 2 also. It's a total of 4. And that will, unfortunately for the Marlins, be a 6-4-3 double play. So Conine just killed that rally. Wipes the bases clean for Gary Sheffield. 5-5 is a 20. 5-3 is a 1. That's a total of 21. That's a walk, but he does have a raised number here. So if you have a raised number, let's see if that's No, that's only for the 9 or less. So for the 21, it's going to stay a walk. That will not change. So Sheffield will draw the 2-out walk. Now it says we're going to go to column chart M, action chart M, I should say. Action chart M, which talks about wild pitches and so forth. So let's see what happens with that. We get a 5. 5 says wild pitch, and the blue die is a 1. And it says if blue die is higher than pitcher's wild pitch rating, it's a wild pitch. But he's a 3, and that's only a 1, so there will be no wild pitch. So he will just stand pat, and Orestes Estrada will step up to the plate. Tabby has jumped up on her little perch right by the table, so hopefully she will stay in her lane and stay there and not jump on the table out of the blue. I'm not going to encourage her, that's for sure. 6'4" is a 41. That could be good for the Marlins. 6'4" is a 41. 6'4" is a 3, total of 44. And that's going to be a line drive hit to left field. Runner advances 1 base. Chance for extra bases. Roll 1 die against the outfielder's defensive rating. If the die is higher, scored a double. So the defensive rating is Incavilla. He's a 3. It's not higher than a 3, so it's going to stay a single. That'll put runners at first and second. Boy, that double play now really looks big. And that definitely cost him some runs. 2 outs, still a chance. Santiago has a chance to do something. 1 swing of the bat, and we got a tie game. So anything can happen. 5-3, but maybe not. 5-3 is a 7. 5-4 is a 1, total of 8. And that's a walk. So it's going to load the bases. So a walk after the double play, we get a walk, a single, and a walk, and we have loaded the bases for Barbary. And the Marlins have been here before. They left the bases loaded in the 3rd when Barbary struck out. So he's got a chance again with the bases loaded to try to make something happen. 5-5 is a 20. 5-1 is a 1, total of 21, and that's going to be another walk. So he will force in a run. He's got the raised numbers, but they only come into play on a 6-9 result, not on the 21 result. So the walk is good, and Sheffield will come in and cross the plate. Estrada takes 3rd, Santiago takes 2nd, and we're back to action chart M with the pickoffs and whatnot. We get an 11, which is balk. So 11 is a balk. That's a 6. So it says here, if blue die is higher than season balk rating, balk is called. So it's got to be higher because it's a 6. I mean, most you're going to rate anything is a 5. So it will automatically be a balk that will score the run. So Estrada will come in on the balk by Mulholland. And the runners move up. So 2 runs are in for the Marlins. It is now 5-4. They're only 1 run out of the lead, and Barbary, rather not Barbary, but Arias, the next batter, has a chance to put him in the lead, actually. So Philly's got to be careful. 1-2 is a 4. 1-5 is a 3, total of 7, and that will be a pop to second to end the inning. But 2 runs come in for the Fish, and they cut the lead to 5-4 as we go to the 6th inning. And let's see, they left 2 on base that time. So even though they're getting the runs, they left 7 on base in just 5 innings of play. So that still might come back to bite them. Aquino's back out. He will lead off next inning, so they will certainly have him out there to go. He went 1-2-3 previous inning. Tabby's putting her paw up on the table and trying to keep her off of the table, so we can get this game in without any feline interruptions. Darren Dalton, 0 for 2. 2-3 is a 16. 2-5 is a 4, total of 20. And that will be a fly to right field. Darren Dalton is 0 for 3 now. Oh, and Tabby just squawked. I don't know if you heard that or not, but she did squawk. Make some noise over there. She doesn't like it because we've cut her fur for the summertime, and she doesn't like the way it looks. So she's not too happy about it, but I know she's much more comfortable not having all that heavy fur on her. 1-5 for Eisenreich is a 4. 1-6 is a 4, total of 8. That's a pop up to third base. Out number 2. So Aquino looking to go 6 up and 6 down. All he's got to do is get Incavilla to accomplish the feat. And this will be his last at bat last inning because he leads off next inning. Incavilla 3-6. That's the left-right split, but it's righty against righty, so it's a liner to short. And boy, that left-right split has come up quite a bit in this game. much more than usual. And that's going to do it for the Phillies here. No, Tabby. No, she's up on the table, but she's out of camera. I want to try to keep her that way. Stay away from my bench and bullpens, Tabby. Now she's rubbing her chin against the dice tray, so I'm trying to keep her out of here, if at all possible. Bottom of the sixth we go. We need a pinch hitter for the Marlins. And they will go with... Well, they're down to lefties now because you don't want to use your backup catcher. So they're going to have to use Darryl Whitmore against Terry Mulholland. Although Mulholland is on a short leash as he has given up 4 runs. Mulholland is scheduled to bat second next inning, so they love to get him through this 6th inning if possible. Whitmore is your pinch hitter. The only other righty they have on the bench is Nadel, their backup catcher, and they really don't want to use your backup catcher if you can avoid it. So Whitmore, and then we get a left-right split. What do you figure? I go to the left-right thing, and it burns me when I least expect it. How about that? That came up again. How many times did that? It's just, I tell you what, it's a conspiracy, I think, because I made a comment about left-right splits not coming up enough, and boy, this thing is like blowing it in my face. So he's out of there. Back to top of the order, and Chucky Carr. 3-6 again. And it's a base hit this time for Chuck Carr. Boy, that 3-6 is just something rolling that more than anything. It happens again. I'm going to have to do a total how many left-right split checks came up in this game. So Chucky Carr is aboard. Tying run is on base for Henry Cotto. And the bullpen for the Phillies is got some extra activity going. Larry Anderson is loosening in the bullpen, the right-hander. But right now it's Cotto. 3-6 again. Unbelievable. It happened again. This is just unreal. Runners are now at the corners for the Marlins with only 1 out and Jeff Conine the batter. And I tell you what, I'm not sure the Phillies can afford to wait around for another left-right split to happen to them. So they're making the move. Mulholland will be lifted. Don't know if there'll be a double switch. I think there will be a double switch because Incavilla is not very good of a fielder. So he was the last out, was Incavilla. So the pitcher spot is going to hit 7th. And the new left fielder is going to be Thompson, Milt Thompson. And the pitcher spot is going to go right here. And Stocker leads off, and Thompson will bat second in the number 9 position on the double switch. They just cannot afford to let another lefty-righty split chance happen. So Incavilla has been lifted. And with Conine coming up, they will go to right-hander Larry Anderson out of the bullpen. So the Phillies thought they had an easy time of it. They were up 5-1 at one point, but now they're holding on for dear life. Still 5-4, but only 1 out with runners at the corners. Infield looking to turn the double play against Conine. Mulholland can actually lose it now if both runs score. He can win it and he can lose it or get a no decision. Anderson, and a 3-6 again. Goodness gracious. Good thing we did make the move to the bullpen. That's a line out to short. No double play because nobody's on second, but 2 outs now. I got these backwards, didn't I? 2 outs now as Conine hit it hard, but right at the shortstop, Stocker, for out number 2. And that is 3 out of the last 4 rolls have been a 3-6. Unbelievable. 2-4 is a 60, and that's a 3 which stays static. That's a 5, which means we're looking at the right fielder Eisenreich. He's got a 5 range, so he's gonna make that catch, and it's gonna end the inning because it's in white. You don't change it, so it's a fly to right to end the inning. Marlins leave 2 on again and do not score. So that means Mulholland can still win it. As Larry Anderson came in and did the job. Extraordinary job, as a matter of fact. And we go to the 7th inning. It's still 5-4 Phillies. We need a new pitcher for the Marlins. And let's see who they might want to bring in. Tabby is laying across my bullpen now. So, Tabby, you're going to have to move. Let's see who we got from the bullpen that might want to come on and pitch. They're going to go to Richie Lewis. Richie Lewis. Right-hander Richie Lewis is going to come on in a 5-4 game. Aquino did his job. He went 2 innings, didn't give up anything. Zeros across the board for him. So Richie Lewis is on, and he'll be facing Stocker, Thompson, and Dykstra after the double switch. So Stocker will lead it off. Five, 6, that's a 3. 5, 1 is a 5, total of 8. And that's going to be a walk, leadoff walk. Richie Lewis has some control issues. All those 5s in column 5 means he walks a lot of guys. So troublesome there with a walk. And now that brings up Milt Thompson, who's in there for defense as much as anything else. He's a much better defender than Incaviglia. So Thompson against Lewis, 6'5" is a 31, 6'2" is a 1, total of 32. And that is a pop up to third for 1 away. So 1 out, and the order flips over to Dykstra. Dykstra, 1-2 is a 3, 1-6 is a 2, total of 5. That's a strikeout. So Lewis coming back, getting the next 2 outs after that leadoff walk. And here's Mariano Duncan. Two, that's a base hit at 11. You can't stop it. That's going to be a base hit all day long. The 6 means we've got a total of 13. So that's a single to left. Runners advance 2 bases with 2 outs. Runner on second scores. But there are nobody on second, so runners advance just to 1 base. So there won't be a steal attempt because he's being blocked with the runner in front of him. So that plus sign, we're going to ignore it. And that'll bring up John Kruk. So Richie Lewis trying to get out of the inning. The Colonel Joe Klink lefty is in the bullpen for the Marlins, but they're hoping Richie Lewis can get out of this inning. 4-1, 19. 4-4 is a shortstop, and that is Arias, who's a 4, total of 23. And that's a single off the fielder's glove. Runner on second will score. Runner on first just gets the 1 base, but that's an RBI single for John Kruk. And that will score Stocker. And the Phillies now take a 6-4 lead. And here's Dave Hollins. But that's one there that it wouldn't have mattered if it had Klink been in the game. It wouldn't have mattered the way that result turned out. 3-1 is a 31. 3-5 is a 2, total of 33. And that is a line out to center field to end the inning. Let the Phillies pick up a run. And we go to the 7th inning stretch. It is 6-4 Phillies over the Marlins. And we'll see if Larry Anderson looks like he's probably going to come back out. He only faced 2 batters, so I would think he's definitely good to go. We are at the 7th inning stretch, so I may stretch here as well. Tabby's still on the table, but hopefully, I think she's out of view, so I don't think you can see her. She's to the left of the dice tray, and my phone camera on my phone doesn't go that wide, so I'm trying to keep her out of the equation. But if you want to know where she is, she's right there. So there she is. So just so you know she is there, but I'm trying to keep her at bay. Now let's make sure we got everything focus-wise in place. I think we do. All right. Hopefully Tabby won't bump into the dice tray and alter a roll. That's the other thing to worry about. But right now she's kind of out of the way. She's got her own little spot she's carved out at the corner of the table. Her tail is hitting the trifold a little bit, but that's not too big a deal. And I moved my bench and bullpens out of the way, so she's no longer laying across those. So hopefully we can get going. Orestes Estrada steps up. Phillies lead it 6-4 here in the bottom of the 7th. 5-5 is a 20, and a 5-6 is a 4, total of 24, and that's going to be another walk with an action column M. So we go back to action column M for the potential wild pitches balks, all that sort of stuff. We get an 8 on action chart M, and that's a wild pitch, so we need to roll the blue die for the wild pitch check. That's a 1, so wild pitch is not, the 1's not higher than the wild pitch rating, so there is no wild pitch. But Destrada is on with the leadoff walk. And now the Philly bullpen is still moving around out there. David West, the lefty, is loosing in the Philly bullpen. Santiago, 4-4 is a 16. 4-6 is the second baseman. And that's Duncan. He's a 3. Total of 19 with the infield halfway. Is a single knocked down by the fielder. The infield, it's going to be an infield single. Everybody's safe. Had to have been back, that would have been a grounder with the runner advancing. But with the halfway, it's going to be where Duncan can't get to it all the way. And runners are at first and second now. Had Morandini been in there playing second base, he's a 2. That 2 in the 16 would have been an 18. It would have been a ground out with runners advancing. But since they have Duncan in there, I didn't make the move. I kept Duncan in there, so that's just the way it is. Barbary will step up to the plate now. Nobody out. He is a 2 bunter, but we'll get to the bottom of the order, so they're going to let Barbary try to do something here. 4-6, and he might hit into a double play. 4-6 is a 5. 4-1 is the first baseman, Kruk. And he is a 3, so that's a total of 8. And that's going to be, it's actually going to be a force play. Not going to be a double play. It's going to be a force play. So Destrada will take third. Santiago's out at second, 3-6 on the fielder's choice, and Barbary will reach on said fielder's choice. So now runners are at the corners with 1 out. And Alex Arias, the batter, with the pinch hitter for Lewis up next. And that looks like it's going to be Darrell Whitmore. Darrell Whitmore has picked up a bat, and he will hit for the pitcher, assuming there's no double play this inning. So Arias stepping up. Not Whitmore, Briley, my bad. Briley, not Whitmore. Whitmore's already pinch hit in the game. It's Greg Briley that I was thinking of. Greg Briley will pinch hit. So runners at the corners here in the bottom of the 7th. With 1 out. Larry Anderson, infield back for the double play. 2-3, and that is a 16. 2-4 is a 2. I'm sorry, is a 1. That's a total of 17. And strikeout with bases empty or fly out to center with men on base. Men are on base, so it's a fly to center. With runner on third base and less than 2 outs, roll 1 die. If the die is odd, it's a strikeout. If it's even, it's a sacrifice fly. So this is huge. Odd, it's a strikeout. Even, it's a sacrifice fly. It's even, so it's a... Okay, sorry about that, folks. I forgot to change my phone settings to not accept phone calls, and the phone call came in and it cut off my recording. So I don't know when it happened or how much you guys saw, but the last play, the last roll we had was Alex Arias at bat with runners on the corners. So I'll recreate it real quick because I don't know how much was on the video and how much wasn't. So runners on the corners, and we rolled a total of 17. Came up to a 16 and a 1 for 17, which says a strikeout with the bases empty. Of course, they aren't empty. And then a fly out to center field with men on base. With men on third and less than 2 outs, roll 1 die. If it rolls odd, it's a strikeout. Even, it's a sacrifice fly. We rolled an even number. So we went from 1 out now to 2 outs on the sacrifice fly. The run scores. That runner was Destrada. He scores from third. Now there are 2 outs. Runner at first is Barbary. Sacrifice fly for Arias. And now we got the pinch hitter, Greg Briley, coming up for the Marlins. And that will leave the backup catcher, Nadel, as the only position player left for the Marlins. Again, I apologize for that. And since it's recording on my phone, I have to watch the whole... I can't... There's no way on my phone to look at that recording and see where it stopped. It starts from the beginning. So I have to watch the whole 50 minutes and never be able to figure it out. And I don't have time for all that. So, with that in mind, Briley is your batter. 4-6 is a 1. 4-4 is a shortstop, and that's going to be a easy play. In fact, they'll throw the force play Doesn't really matter. It's the third out of the inning. Anyway, I'll call it a 6-4 fielder's choice to end the inning. So Richie Lewis goes 1 inning, and he does give up a run on 2 hits and a walk. So the Marlins get the 1 run back they gave up in the top half of the 7th. It is now 6-5 after 7 innings of play. And hopefully I can get these last 2 innings in without any more interruptions. Tabby's back on a perch, so hopefully she's out of the way. All right, for the Marlins, they will need a new pitcher. Coming up to bat, it's Dalton, Eisenreich, and the pitcher spot. So Larry Anderson will pinch hit for. So they're going to go to the lefty. They're going to go to the Colonel Joe Klink, their other lefty. So the Colonel Joe Klink is on for the Marlins. He will be on to face Dutch, Darren Dalton, then Eisenreich, and the pitcher spot, which would be a pinch hitter. And the Phillies have to look and see who they got on their bench. They have Wes Chamberlain and Ricky Jordan, a couple of good right-handed hitters. So they have to figure out who they want to use. Chamberlain's 282, Jordan is 289. They're going to use Wes Chamberlain because they want to save Jordan in case they want to use him as a double switch or something. So it's going to be Dalton, Eisenreich, and Chamberlain due up. So Chamberlain will pinch hit for the pitcher spot. All right, so Joe Klink, first of all, will face Darren Dalton. 4-1, that's a 6. 4-5 is a shortstop, and that is Arias, who's a 4. It's a total of 10, and it will be a ground out with the infield back. That'll be the basic ground out, 1 away. Haven't rolled a 3-6 in a while. After a run of those 3-6 results, we have not rolled a 3-6 in a while. So here's Eisenreich. He's in there for his defense. He's got 5 defensive rating, which is the best you can have, and 62 is almost the best you can have. So being up by a run, they don't want to lose that defense. They're going to leave him in there. 4-3 is an 18. 4-5 is the shortstop. Again, that is Arias. He's a 4. That's a 22, and that's going to be a single off the glove. So base hit for Jim Eisenreich. 1 out single to Eisenreich, and that'll bring up the pinch hitter, Wes Chamberlain. He will pinch hit. 4-4 is a 2. 4-1 is the first baseman, Destrada, who is a 4. That's a total of 6. And with the infield halfway, that's going to be a potential double play. But when you roll a 6, you have the pivot man chart to deal with. So I will try to show that in the book. So we go over here to column number 4. Get that for you. It is called a pivot man chart right here. So when you roll a 6, when it comes up as a 6 or a 7, with the infield halfway in column 4, we have this double play pivot chart. All right, now the question is, where did the ball get hit? It was hit to Destrada, so the pivot guy is a shortstop, Arias. He's a 4, not very good, so the chance of a double play are not as great. So with a 4 defense, we need a 1-3 for a double play. A 4-6, it's going to be a fielder's choice. So the Marlins need a 1-3 to turn this double play. And they get it, so they still get the double play turned. And that will end the inning 3-6-3. Destrada will turn the double play on the pinch hitter Chamberlain, and that's going to end the inning. Phillies come away empty-handed. And now we go to the bottom of the 8th. 6-5 ball game. And that's going to be it for Joe Klink. He's a 1-inning guy, so he's definitely not coming back. And let's see, for the Phillies, we need a new pitcher. They'll be facing the top of the order, Carr, Cotto, and Conine. 2 out of 3 are right-handed. Sheffield behind him is also right-handed. So they're going to a right-hander out of the pen. And it's going to be Jose De Leon. They will use him. He's about to get traded to Chicago for Bobby Thigpen shortly, but not yet. He's still on the roster. So De Leon will be on. Larry Anderson went 2 innings. Actually, he went an inning and 2/3. My bad. Inning and 2/3. Mulholland went 5 1/3, and 1 2/3 for Anderson. So DeLeon is on, the right-hander, and he will be facing top of the order Chuck Carr. 6-5 ball game. Bottom of the 8th here at Joe Robbie Stadium. 4-3, and that is a 2. 4-3 there is a third baseman check, and that is Hollins, who's a 4. Total of 6. That's an easy ground out. 1 away. Now, DeLeon is a fly ball pitcher, so had the blue die been a 2 or a 5, we would have shifted to column 6 and also shifted this to column 6. So that 2 would have been a 56 with a chance for a double steal had we moved to column 6. So fortunate for DeLeon, he did not find that particular result. And Henry Cotto, the batter. So Marlins are now kind of hamstrung on pinch hitting because Nadal's the only guy they have left, and they got to save him when the pitcher comes up. So the position players there are what's left, and that's it. 3-1 is a 4. 3-6 is a 1. Total of 5, and that's going to be a short fly to left. 2 down. So Cotto is out. Here comes Conine. But the Marlins are at least guaranteed to get the Sheffield, Estrada, Santiago contingent in the 9th, even if Conine makes an out. 3-6 is a left-right split. I talked about it, and it came back again for Conine. Second time he's been out on the left-right split. That line drive to short with the left-right split, and that's going to do it for the Marlins here in the 8th. We go to the 9th, and we will see the wild thing in the bottom of the 9th, Mitch Williams. He'll be coming in to try to save it for the Phillies. The Marlins will need a new pitcher for the top of the 9th, as Joe Klink went 1 inning, gave up a hit and nothing else. And they will go to Brian Harvey, their closer. Might as well bring out the best you have. There is no save situation any longer for them, so Brian Harvey will be the man. That leaves Nen and Turner as the only 2 relievers in the bullpen. For the Phillies, they will have Stocker, Thompson, and Dykstra. But again, the Marlins are out of lefties. They've used both their lefties, but they're going with the best they have, Harvey. And that's who they will go to try to keep the score where it is. Whoops, that white die did not go through. Let's re-roll the whole thing. 6-6, that's bad news. 8 is there. 6-4 is a 2. That's a total of 10, and that's going to be a base hit. There's a K there, but that only comes into play when there is a, let's see, when you're in the 32 to 36 range. So where we're at, that's just a base hit. Simple base hit for Kevin Stocker. And there's really nothing that Harvey could do about it. When you get that 6-6, that's an automatic base hit most of the time, much like in APA. So Stocker reaches on the leadoff single, and here comes Milt Thompson. Came on that double switch. Harvey, 4-2 is an 18. 4-1 is the first baseman, Estrada. He's a 4. That's a 22. And with the infield halfway, 22, it's a single off the glove. Runners advance 1 base, so he knocked it down, but they couldn't make the out. And now runners are at first and second with nobody out here in the top of the 9th against Brian Harvey. Dykstra is up. He's a terrible bunter, so he's not going to bunt. 1's the best, 5's the worst. He's the worst rated bunter, so they're going to swing away. 4-5 is an 18. 4-1 is the first baseman, Estrada again. It's another 22, and that's going to be a base hit. With the infield halfway, that's a base hit. Run on second will score. So in this case, whoops, you might leave him there. Run on second does score. Stocker scores from second. Thompson will stop at second rather. And Dykstra's aboard. 3 consecutive singles, but really Harvey's had no chance. So Duncan steps up to the plate. He's a pretty good bunter, but I think they're going to swing away. They got Harvey on the ropes. 4-2 is a 2. 4-6 is a second baseman. Barber is a 1. That's going to be a double play. 4-6-3 double play will get him 2 quick outs. So that certainly helps the cause a little bit. 4-6-3 double play. Thompson does take third. So he is at third with 2 outs for John Kruk. 1 run is in already. It is 7-5, but Harvey's trying to keep it where it is. 5-1 is a 5. 5-3 is a 1. Total of 6. And that's a walk, but he does have the raised number. And by the blue die, the row 3 means we got a 3 here. So if we roll a 3 or less, this becomes 2-ball count. And we do. So it's 2-ball count. There's not going to be a walk because he's got that raised number. He's got really good control. So they'll roll it again for Kruk. And he gets the left-right split once again for a base hit. Boy. Talk about a bad break for the Marlins. That's 2 runs for the Phillies. And they now lead it by the score of 8-5. As they get 2 runs off of the closer Harvey on that another left-right split. They'd been better off to have the walk. But just the way it works out. Here's Hollins. 1-5 is a 2. 1-6 is a 1. That's a strikeout to end the inning. But damage done. 2 runs for the Phillies. And they will turn it over now to Mitch Williams, the Wild Thing. He's got a 3-run lead to protect. 8-5 as we go to the bottom of the 9th. And the Wild Thing, Mitch Williams, will be on. Mitch Williams. There's a Mike Williams as a right-hander, but this is Mitch Williams, the lefty, obviously. And he'll be facing Sheffield, Estrada, and Santiago. 8-5 game, bottom of the 9th. 1-4 is a 35. 1-5 is a 1. Total of 36. Ground ball to Hollins at third base for 1 away. So the Marlins gave it a good go, but those 2 runs in the top of the 9th kind of took the wind out of their sails. Here's to Estrada. 3-1 is a 31. 3-2 is a 1. Total of 32. That is a line out to right field for out number 2. Last chance is Benito Santiago. 4-3 is a 2. 4-3 is the third baseman Hollins. He throws the first, and there's your ball game. 1-2-3 for the Wild Thing in the 9th. And that's going to do it. The Phillies had an easy time of it early, but then hung on late to win it by the score of 8-5. And we'll be right back with the totals. All right, totals here from Joe Robbie Stadium in Miami, Florida. It is the Philadelphia Phillies holding on for an 8-5 victory. For the Phillies, 8 runs, 14 hits, and 1 error. For the Marlins, 5 runs, 11 hits, no errors. Philadelphia left 5 on base. Marlins left on 10. That definitely hurt their cause. Winning pitcher Terry Mulholland, he held on and got the win. The loss goes to starter Charlie Huff. Gave those 4 runs in 2 innings, and the Marlins never were able to tie the game, so he is stuck with the loss. And the save, of course, goes to the Wild Thing, Mitch Williams. Next Sunday, we're going to be in the Queen City in Cincinnati, and it will be the Atlanta Braves and the Cincinnati Reds. Greg Maddux against Jose Rijo, and this is the last of the actual Sunday night games that was played really on a Sunday night. So I'm keeping the schedule through this game because this game is pertinent to the playoffs. But then starting the following Sunday, we're going to kind of not worry about the game that's actually played Sunday night and pick the best matchup pertinent to playoff competition. So that's going to do it from here. Again, apologize for the interruption. I got to put these 2 videos together, and hopefully it comes out okay. Sometimes the sound gets a little screwy when I have to splice them together. The production on this may not be that great. I don't know, but it's there. So, and the only other thing to do is to replay the game, which I really don't feel like doing. So that's going to do it from here. Final score again, Philadelphia wins it by a score of 8-5. Until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose.